Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away, and today I'm going to be doing the next 6 stages of the Fanhome release of Build the Fast and Furious Nissan Skyline. So that means we're doing stages 81 to 86. It means we're finishing the door. We are going to start on the bodywork, so we're going to be putting the front wings in as well, I believe. I think we're creating them. I don't think we're actually putting them on the car at the moment. So I have got the door that we're working on in the last pack here. And then behind me, I've got the Nissan Skyline. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description, and there's also the QR code on the screen. You might want to check out the Fanhome site, because in some territories at the moment, I think they are starting pre-orders for the Fanhome Toyota Supra, which is another Fast and Furious car. But going to jump straight into it without further ado. Let's get cracking. Okay, so some of these stages I'm going to be bundling together because there isn't much to do, but this is stage 81 here, and we are going to finish the door off. So I am going to keep this as a standalone. As you see, we've just got these parts here to put in, and then we're clipping this onto the door just like that. So that would be a finished door. So here's stage 81. Now, we have seen this in a previous pack because obviously we've already done one door for this build, and that looks like that. That was the finished door here. And all I'm going to be doing, taking these parts here and just pushing these together. And then they clip over the lugs. One there and one there. And that keeps that into place. Putting this onto the door. And we're going to be attaching it with OP screws. So I've got them ready. Put this on. It's held in. These are very tiny screws, actually. I might have to use my... Oh no, we can get them on my screwdriver here. They're going to be OP screws just into all the holes that we can see here, and there's a few of them. We've got 3 that I can see just from the outset here. I know I know exactly what you're going to be saying. Stand by. Let me get this screw in first. There you go. Is that better? Is that better? I know I get shouted at if I don't put it on a mat. Okay. Get the last 2 in. So we've got 2 down the bottom here. And I know I've got all the screws in where they need to go because they give us 1 spare screw. So if I've got 1 screw left, which I have, it means I've done them all. So all we've got to do then is just put the speaker in to the position here. Just pushes in like that. And then finally, I've got the little tweeter, I guess they used to call them, which is going above it. And then that's in there. And then that is another finished door. That's all there is to do in that stage. So stage 82, here's the instructions. And in this one, we're going to be having the hood. So I'm going to need to get the hood out. We're going to be putting these sections on the bodywork first on the front here. I've got that behind me so we can get this into place. And then I'm going to be putting these hinges onto the bonnet. Now, we haven't seen the bonnet for some time, so let's get those out. So probably best to actually just take out all the parts from stage 82 first. The reason being is because I am going to be bringing up the whole bodywork, so it is going to take up some space. And this is what that bodywork is looking like here. And because we haven't seen it for some time, here's the bonnet as well. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to be putting this front section in just here. It's going to follow the curve of the window, and it fits in just like that. It's fitting in perfectly. It's held in by 3 CP screws, just from the underside here. So I'm going to hold that in. Go, look, I've got it on my mat. Everyone's happy. Actually, let's lie it down because it's not going to stay in on its own. While I just maneuver this into position. And then I'll put a CP screw through this middle hole first. That'll hold it in and enable me to get the ones in each side here. So one there. Let's turn that back over. And there you go. That's how that looks when that's in. I can put this to one side. And I may as well keep this up because I do need the bonnet now. Turning that over, I need to put the left hand hinge in. Now these hinges are stamped. This one's got an L on it. And it's going to be fitting in just like that. It's held in with AM screws. This time going into metal. So I have put some oil on. And again, one of the most common questions that I get asked on this channel is what oil I'm using. I just use a regular 3-in-1 oil that you'd normally find in for sewing machines. But I think you can use any oil. I've known people use sunflower oil before. As long as it is lubricating the part as you put it in, you're not going to have a problem. So there we go, that's that one in there. Then I'm looking for the left catch here, and again this is stamped with an L, and I want an ACM screw. And probably best on the top camera, I'm going to be putting this into the end just here like that. So get a screw in. And that's the hinge on one side in place. Going to do exactly the same on the other side. So the right hand side hinge goes in here, screw it in with AM screws, and then one of these ACM screws is going to hold this bracket into the top here. And there you go, with both of those in, that's all there is to do in that stage. Now for the rest of this build, which is stages 83 to 86, I'm going to do all of this together because it all involves the front wings. So I think it'd be good to just have a section called front wings. So I'm going to quickly just whiz through these magazines here and you'll see what I mean, because they do repeat after 2 stages. So as you can see, we've got a wing here with a bit of trim to put on, or a bracket here, which is just going to go on the inside, and we're putting a little bit of logo there, the GT logo. So that's looking like that. Then in stage 84, flicking through this, we actually get to mount a bit of the frame for that wing to sit on, which looks like this. And then that's going to be attaching to the front of the car, as you can see that. And then this is what I mean about repeating, because then if I go on to stage 85, and we'll get to the end, you've probably guessed it, we're going to have the opposite side wing doing exactly the same thing here. So that's going to be going on to the main body of the car, or the frame is, that we get in this stage. So that's what we're going to be doing in these 4 stages together. So laying down my cloth again, and I'm just tipping everything out there. This is what the wing is looking like, and I have got this panel here which is going to be going over the screws at the side here and here like this. That's held in with SM screws. Again, ends in an M, going into metal. So a bit of oil on that. One there and one there. And then all I'm going to do is push this little emblem here into this hole, making sure it's straight. So that's in like that. Now I'm going to do these stages completely out of order because I'm just going to repeat that for the other side wing. Just makes sense to do it this way, I think. And literally we're doing it exactly the same way. That goes in there. SM screws to hold this in. And then putting this little logo into the side. So that looks just like that. That means we've done 2 wings. We actually don't use those, so we keep them to one side and open up stage 84 first. Just get these brackets out. So bringing over the bodywork of the car, this is going to be going on this side just here. So it's actually going to be fitting on the side just here, probably best on the top camera, just like this. Do need to push this into place. I can see it's going to be a tight fit, so I am going to use a little bit of oil on parts just at the top here and on these parts here, just to help that go in. And I am going to give that a bit of encouragement with my hammer. Now it's going to be held in with 2 aim screws, which are flange screws here. Now the hammer's done most of the work on this, so I can ensure that that's actually in fully there. But one there. And one just on the other side here. And then this is a reinforcement cover, but we don't actually use that in this stage. But that's all there is to do in that stage, which means I'm just going to repeat this on the other side. Once again, we don't use this part, but this will be going into the side here. Once again, I am just going to give it a bit of lube on top and on these parts at the side, just so I can get this in. Oops. So then that will fit over the top. Put the bottom one in first. That'll line it up. This one doesn't actually need hammering in. This one's fits quite well. My left one was quite tight, I found. I think I could have got away with not actually using any lube on that. Oh God, I've really scraped the bottle. My choice of words for some of these videos, I'm telling you. I apologise. But this is the last one just going in here. Okay. So just to give you an example, and eventually I'm guessing this is going to be going on here and it's going to attach, I don't know, something like there. There you go. And that's how that's going to fit in like that. I don't know if it's going to stay in on its own, unfortunately. But I kind of wanted to just give you an idea of how that's going to look on the door. If I just zoom out this camera here, and then the door would, you know, go on like this sort of thing. So gives you an idea of how that's going to look. But that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. Just to let it go, it just all fell off the door. But there we go. That was a very quick pack, to be honest with you. So we do have some parts that we've got to keep safe again. What I tend to do now is the whole bodywork actually just sits on top of the car now. And then I put this as one piece underneath my workstation with a blanket on top of it, because it's too big to keep in a storage box now. But I'm enjoying this build. I'm actually going to Barcelona next week. I'm going to be looking at some new 1/8 scale cars from DLSD Collectibles and Fanhome. Wonder what they could be. Anyway, be sure to tune in for that. I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.